Welcome back, everybody, to another broadcast of the Greatness in You podcast. As we start a new series I was just thinking about this past week and how our lives should be written down on a piece of paper like we do in many business plans. If I was to ask a question, what is your 5-year plan? Do you have one? Do you have a 10-year plan or a 20-year plan? Did you know that most business plans, when you start to write them, by the law of the business plan, they require you to project your business out to 100 years? Even though you have not started the business yet or made a dime yet, they require you in a business plan to have 100-year projection of business to be established in business for 100 years. Now, why is it in business we have a plan, yet in our own life we don't have a plan? So here's the statement. We've heard this said many times over and over again. If you don't have a plan, then you're planning to fail. So with the plan, there's a chance for you to succeed. So here's the key. Whenever you and I have a thought in our mind, if all we do, whether it's a great thought for something we can make better, a creative idea to invent something new, a new way of doing things, if we let it remain in our head, it becomes what is called a passing thought. Well, a passing thought is like the same statement we made in one ear, out the next. But isn't it funny how many times we have creative ideas, witty inventions, things we like to do to make a product better or come up with a fix to a problem? If you let the thought remain in your head, then it becomes a passing thought. Then you'll find down the road, have you experienced this before, where 6 months to a year down the road, somebody had the same thought you had, and now they're on national television making millions of dollars off your idea? So what am I trying to tell you? That if you have a great thought in your head, it's very important for you to get out your head and to put it down on paper. Once the thought comes out your head and on paper, there's a 50% chance that that thought can become a reality. Think of it this way. Everything that's around you in your room or the space you're in right now, whether it's in your car, in your apartment, in your home, and outside, was once a thought. Think about that. So if you have a light and a lamp in your house, well, somebody had the thought that's the best way to get light into your room. But if they were let it remain in the mind and didn't write it down, then that lamp would not have been invented. By the way, the lamp, like everything else in your room, is an answer to a question. A question is usually what we use to solve a problem. Every situation or piece of furniture in your room or in your car was once a question, and that's the solution to that question. Was when they asked it, they came up with a resolution or solution, and now you're living on someone's thought that was written down and now manifests itself in life that you're enjoying today. So everything came out of a question. So here's the key. Well, just like that business plan, you have to think it through, put it down, make projections, and as long as you put it down on paper and you go back to read it over, there's a 50% chance you can manifest that business into reality. But if it becomes a passing thought and you don't write it down, you will forget it as quickly as you had the idea. So I encourage you, you should have a 5-year plan. Study successful people. Where do you see yourself 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years from now? Where do you see yourself? And I know it's going to be a big word, 100 years from now, because every business plan has a projection of 100 years. So because you have success, without a plan, you're guaranteed to fail. With a plan, you now have a chance to succeed. But the plan must be written down and clearly written down on paper. So I encourage you today, if you have a dream, may I encourage you to write that dream down again so you can see it with your own eyes. And after you start to see it, start to dream about it, and start to put steps to how you can accomplish it. Here's the key. The first step in any journey to any destination, begin with the first step. The first step is always the hardest, but the first step is the most important. Let me say it again. The first step is always the hardest, but it's the first step that's the most important. Because as long as you're trying to get to Florida, if you don't start the first, turn your car out and get on the road, you'll never get to your destination. So also with your business plan. So the first step is to start the process of figuring out how can I manifest this thing that I'm dreaming about. So that's why I want you to write down paper, read it over, and every time you get discouraged, go back and read what you've written down. And that will give you some encouragement and motivation to keep going after it. And now, you have to press through. There's going to be barriers, there's going to be a restriction, there's going to be stuff going to be in your way. But if you're going to build a strong business and or become successful, there must be resistance. Resistance is necessary to your success, because if everything came easy in life, wouldn't all of us be successful? Have you noticed the people, the one who are most successful are the one who's overcome more obstacle, more resistance, more obstruction in their life? Have you noticed they're the most successful people? So if you start your plan and you find you get resistance or everything's going wrong, then you must know one thing: you're on the right track. Because if there's resistance to it, that means when you finally get through the resistance to get to the other side of victory, then you'll go back and realize that I was on the right track because I had to learn the process, learn to adjust the course, and learn to not allow obstacles to stop me, but to break through to the other side. And so I'd encourage you today, if you have a plan, you're going to face some struggle, some resistance, but because you have purpose and potential and you know you have something great that can make the world a better place, you don't let the obstacle stop you. Break through every obstacle. Keep pressing through. Behind every obstacle, there's success lying waiting for you. Today, you can begin that journey because there is greatness in you. Thank you for listening to the Greatness in You podcast. All episodes are available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you like the podcast, please rate and review on iTunes, as this is the best way to help spread the word about this podcast. Also, if you'd like to support this podcast, don't forget to visit the Greatness in You Patreon page, where members will have access to exclusive content and other words of encouragement. And if you're interested in finding out more about your purpose and potential, check out my book, The Greatness in You, which is available at Barnes & Noble's, BAM Bookstore, and on Amazon, as well as many other places. Until next time, remember, there is greatness in you.